Keigan, first thing I want to talk about is stance width. You might be a tiny bit too narrow. You got big wide shoulders, big legs. We need a little bit of clearance between those knees so we can make an uninhibited aggressive throw down through the legs. Usually the snapping stance is going to be 4 to 6, maybe 8 inches wider than your regular football stance. So we start with wider than the shoulders, go out just a little bit. We've talked about it in camp already. Getting too wide can lead to other problems that are counterproductive. But let's go ahead and set you up over the ball and see what it looks like right now. The big thing is we want to see, as a general rule, that the knees are slightly wider than the shoulders when you're set up. Does that feel comfortable to you? I think it looks fine. Go ahead and stand up. Now, a couple of tricks. Go ahead and step over. One thing you can do, you might want to try, without getting wider, you can always point the toes out slightly. That way when you sit down, the knees are out towards a little bit, and you can push them out over the toes to create a little more room without ever getting too wide. The important thing is have that weight positioned on the quads. The load bearing should be on the quads for comfort and explosive power, or potential, okay? The other things that we saw coming in is you were frog squatting. We've talked about that shoulders to hip slope relationship. We've talked about how the upper and lower body meet in an arrow point, and we want the energies traveling down the spine and up through the legs to the hips so that those energies converge, and that arrow point is directed straight at our target, okay? When you're frog squatting, that means that your hips are below your shoulders. So number one, your arrow's pointed into the ground. Number two, you're bending way too deep in the knees. You're way beyond 90 degrees. And when you get down like that, you pretty much have no other option but to be either flat-footed or sitting on your heels. Not a productive place in football. We need you on the balls of your feet for balance, leverage, mobility, you know, all those things that are important. Okay, so essentially what we need to do is take you from that starting position, and keep in mind that I'm exaggerating it here, and we need to unbend the legs and flatten out your shoulders to hip slope angle. As a blind snapper, generally you want to be pretty horizontal, shoulders to hips, pretty parallel to the ground. Okay, that's the first thing. The other thing we need to do is probably shift your weight forward just a little bit, get the knees over the toes for optimum balance. And then the final thing is I want to work on getting that guide hand through the legs better, especially when you're just doing this type of work. Hold that finish, exaggerate it, get used to that muscle memory, that finish, so that you're trained for it and your hands will get through better and better when you're worried about other things. Okay, go ahead and set up. First thing we're going to do is 3-step you. You ready? First thing I'm going to do is pull you forward. That'll get your knee bend to 90 to the left, straighten the back, extend the arms. Then I'm going to raise you up, maximizing operating room under your torso. Then I'm going to push you back into the hips, not down to the ground, but back towards your target, till the heels touch the ground, knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. Do you feel comfortable there? Okay, I don't mind you being well extended. Just be sure that it doesn't pull too much weight forward, okay? You feel like you're on the balls of your feet? Sure. Give it a good hard throw. Okay, now, had you a little too far forward, probably a little too steep. I'll let you sit a little deeper on the back end this time, okay? Let's run you through one more time. Thanks. Ready? Do it faster. 1, 2, 3. Sit into it a little more. Not that much. Right there. Does that feel comfortable? Give it a good hard throw. Explosive. How'd that feel? Yeah. Very solid on the feet. You're looking really good. Now let's see how you do that without the 3-step. Go ahead. Coming into camp, you were frog squatting, high on the front, low on the back, kind of flat-footed. We just unbent the legs, okay? Shifted the weight to get you balanced. Probably brought the ball a little further out to shift the weight, and that'll just bring you forward, huh? Sit into it a little more. Try that right there. Give it a good hard throw. Not that complicated, is it? Great discipline getting the hands through. I don't think we need to worry about it. But if you're not getting the hand through, you can do this thing called the gimme 5 drill, where as you snap the football, you simply come through and give me 5 with that hand, okay? Any questions? No, sir. You're looking good. Let's get that shoulders to hip slope pretty flat. Your ball's going to tend to go straight at the waist of the punter no matter how hard you throw it when you get set up right. You're balanced, you're stable, you're solid on your feet. It's looking really good. Okay, go ahead and stop it, Dante.
Heels on the second cone. Excellent. Dante, you'll be next. I got